Joining us on the phone now is Gerald Celente with Trends Research Institute. He's the director. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us today. You have looked ahead to 2010, and how does it look overall? Should we be jumping for joy?
Well, it's a mixed bag, like life. But there are some very negatives in it, though. It's more as we look at it in total. There are a lot of things to be concerned about.
All right, the terrorist story has been front page news for a couple of days now. Tell us about terrorism and what you predict for 2010.
Well, as you well know, and you received our press release several days ago before the terrorist strike, the alleged or failed terrorist strike, we're warning about Terror 2010 and have been now for since November. Matter of fact, I was on the air with the governor of Minnesota, Tim Celente, on November 13th, not only warning of terror, but also of increased problems in Yemen. And so what happens is when you keep expanding the wars, and now we're going into Pakistan, you end up making a lot of people angry. War's an ugly thing, and there are a lot of people that want to seek revenge. And what we have different this time is that we see more lone wolf type of terrorism. There are so many weapons of mass destruction, bioterror, suitcase-sized nukes, you name it. It's a very fearful situation, and we're very concerned that we can see a 9/11 terror strike of that magnitude.
That wasn't exactly a lone wolf effort there, though.
No, I know that, but you look at the Fort Hood, you look at other ones, there's going to be a time when they don't need a whole group of people, is what we're saying. For example, if your family lived in South Waziristan or the Swat Valley in Pakistan and they were wiped out, it kind of makes people angry and they want to seek revenge. And now the technology is available where you don't need an organization. One person could do it. That's what we're concerned about.
Well, but we had Timothy McVeigh, too, and that was a ways back, and, a lone wolf. And so that's not like that's a new thing.
When you go back to Timothy McVeigh, this was a letter bomber. It wasn't weapons of mass destruction, and that's what we're concerned about now.
All right, this is kind of an interesting thing here. I was just looking at a barbecue grill from Walmart, and it says right on the front, Walmart, made in China. And, of course, as our morning show producer said, Sam Walton should be turning over in his grave, knowing that's the case. Are we going to have a national trend going away from buying Chinese products?
Actually, it's going to be global. Not made in China is going to be something on a lot of people's minds. It's the golden rule. Those who have the gold rule. And with all the money going to China, there's a lot of concern. You have countries like Indonesia, a very poor country, that can't compete, even making nails, which is basically made out of wire, compared to China. So you're going to start seeing trade protectionism going up around the world. It's already starting in the U.S. with tariffs on tires and steel tubing.
I reported just a few minutes ago about this new law that's gone into effect, or will go into effect on the first of the year in California, where restaurants cannot have any trans fat in their foods. And you see this as a possible big business opportunity coming up. Not maybe that specific.
America's become TB, too big. Too big with the cars, too big with the homes, and the people, we're looking at 43% obesity rates in the next 7 years. There's going to be a Shape Up America trend, we believe. There's a lot of things that are intertwined here as these trends, because one of the trends we're looking at also is a return to elegance. The dumbed-down, sloppy look isn't going to cut it when you're out there looking for a job, and when jobs, as we all know, are tough to come by. So people are going to be fighting for them at a lot of different levels. Getting in shape is going to be big business. And by the way, the whole holistic health way of doing it as well. So as we're looking at 2010, we're also looking at severe economic problems. We don't see things getting better. This is just a cover-up with stimulus. And by the way, it's global again. $5.3 trillion dumped into the systems from China, Australia, UK, US. You go by the boards. So what's going to happen are people are going to say, I better be in the best form, physically, emotionally, and as well as, mentally and spiritually, rather. So we're going to see a very, very positive movement towards Shape Up America, and anyone that jumps on that bandwagon, particularly corporations, are going to be able to bring in big bucks.
could almost any kind of corporation get in on this?
Well, if the ones that are selling the worst products are the ones that are going to jump on it the heaviest. They always do. You look at the sponsors of the Olympics, for example, the number of them. What are they doing sponsoring this kind of thing? But also for the entrepreneur, it's going to be big business. I mean, who knows? They have dog walkers here in New York. Maybe they'll have people walkers.
Maybe the cigarette companies will come out with vitamins.
Yeah, there you go. They'll make a cigarette healthy to smoke, right?
Yeah.
We have just about a minute left. One thing I wanted to ask you, it seems that whenever you see Gallup poll numbers and so forth asking about how people feel about the president or Congress or whatever, there's always a growing number, or it seems to be, of independents. Do you foresee those independents coalescing into a really viable third party somehow?
Yeah, we really do. Matter of fact, we've been in business now 30 years. Back in the mid-'80s, I wrote a book called Trend Tracking and had predicted that there'd be a new third party. And for some reason, I mentioned Ross Perot's name. He was hardly known at the time. We see the same kind of atmosphere here. People are feeling that this is a two-headed, one-party system, and it just keeps going back and forth. The Democrats voted for, the change in the midterm elections in 2006 to end the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and of course nothing happened. And now they're going to be voting against the Democrats because of all the big spending, and nothing will happen. So, yeah, third party in 2012.
Gerald Celente is here. If you'd like more information, the website is trendsresearch.com. You can also log on to that through kfnn.com today. Gerald, thanks so much for being with us.
Hey, thank you, and Happy New Year.
Same to you.